Good evening. Happy Friday. We
Good
are
evening.
here. We have made it.
Without any hitches whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all.
So smooth.
Very smooth. Incredibly smooth.
Oh. It wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
It was most definitely me.
Oh dear. Happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Jeremy, thanks for coming on. Thanks for becoming part of the network. Appreciate your support.
Not a problem.
Drippy, thanks for leaving it to lastminute.com. As always, despite several practices this week. But anyway.
I was ready to go.
It's perfect.
And then I hadn't done the final bit, and then it decided to say your browser doesn't recognise your webcam again. And I'm like, here we go.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah,
You will have to bear with me, guys. I'm going to have to leave and come back. I'm ever so sorry.
What?
I will be back. Because my website is not uploading all the products. So I think it's because I'm using my bandwidth for this.
Just give me 1 second. Is something important happening at 8 o'clock? Sorry. Oh, dear. Well, it wouldn't be a normal Friday, Sunday morning, Friday night, Jeremy, if it weren't for technical issues or glitches. So anyway. But no, thanks for joining us. It was great to see you last weekend.
Yeah,
Have you recovered? Have you recovered?
It was good to meet you two, actually, because I hadn't previously met you, and I'm glad I did, because otherwise we'd just be like 2.5 strangers right now, just like with Christian, just legging it. So have I recovered? Yes, I have recovered. I did drink too much because it's quite stressful leading up to the event. Me and Paul were really nervous about it all. We hadn't done anything like that. And we're only fish keepers. Do you know what I mean? We're not presenters or anything. And so to do all that, it's just like, well, hang on a minute. But we did it, and afterwards it was like a really good feeling. Hopefully it was a good show. Everyone enjoyed it. And then I had a few beers and a few glasses of wine. And
you was half normal when I left you in the pub.
What time did you leave?
Well, Tom started feeling his age and went to bed about 9:30.
Right.
So I reckon I probably Saturday night, yeah. So I reckon I'd come in about 9:30. It was all pretty normal. I mean, Ange, bless her. Ange looked well oiled. Bless her heart. But no, everyone else was, But I mean, I did get the feeling it might turn into a bit of a session. So good on you.
Yeah, it did get quite messy. There was nowhere else to go though. Like it was really weird. The bar shut early, and I was like, "So, where are we going on to?" And everyone's like, "There's nothing. There's nowhere." I'm like, "This is Essex. Of course there is."
Yes, there was plenty of places. Could have gone back to AAC.
Yeah, could have. Drank some like no pox or something, shots.
Yeah. You just smashed all these Aussie acros up looking for eggs. That'd have been fun.
I didn't see any. Did anyone see the eggs?
I didn't see it. No.
Jamie was like,
only Tom's head.
Yeah.
That's don't know if any acropora could hold that thing.
Oh dear, that was good. I was just shattered all that driving, absolutely shattered. We went down on a Friday night. I went to see Rob's pelagic swimmers tank.
Oh yeah,
masterpiece with these amazing fish. Yeah, and he got a 2-seater. So me and Lee turned up, one-arm reefer, and obviously there's Rob. So there's 3 of us going and getting a 2-seater. It wasn't happening. So then after I'd driven all that way down, we then had to drive all the way around to see all the shops. But it was worth doing. But no, I had a good birthday with the Coral Freaks. It was memorable, wasn't it, Drippy? Thanks for that. Thanks for making it memorable.
Quality.
Appreciate it.
Quality.
Anyway, so we've recovered then. So we're going to give a shout out to everybody that's joined us. Thanks ever so much, everybody, for joining us this Friday evening. Appreciate there's a lot of still Halloween/bonfire parties going on. So yeah, thanks for the support. We'll give a shout out to everybody that's made the effort. Pardon?
Well, Halloween was last night.
Yeah,
there was a few people that are going to Halloween parties tonight. I know.
All right. Sorry, Halloween party. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, we turned all the lights off and shut the door between the lounge and the kitchen because the fish tank light emits too much light, so we didn't want people knocking on the door. Because every year we bought sweets. I was like such a tight Yorkshireman right now. Every year we bought sweets for the kids. Nobody's knocked on the door. Every year we don't buy them, people knock on the door. So anyway,
Mr. and Mrs. Happy in there with the door shut, lights off.
Yep, hiding behind the sofa.
Yeah, kids, sod the kids.
Anyway. Can I say good evening to everybody who's made the effort, please? Is that all right?
People are saying your mic's not on, Tom. I don't know why. I can hear you.
You can hear me.
If you look at the people suggesting that, probably take it with a pinch of salt, if I'm honest.
Is that any better?
That's terrible. That's
you
really
sound
bad.
like a pilot.
Sound like a pilot?
No, that's horrible.
Whoa! You sound like you're about to announce the starting lineup at a football stadium.
Oh dear. What about? No.
No, worse.
Jeremy, your equipment is probably more high end than mine. Is it just me, or does he sound horrendous?
Yeah, he sounds horrendous.
Right now, you sound horrendous.
Now you sound normal. Yeah,
you sound normal now. Just sound.
So we're good now.
Yeah.
I've even got Ron, Eden Corals going, Tom, your mic is not working. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for your support. Anyway, right, I'm going to jump in. Happy Friday. Gazza's Reef. He's not with us. He's buggered off to a party, but thanks for saying hello. Making the effort.
Hi, Gazza.
Hi, Gazza. Haley. Evening, Haley. Hope you're well. We had a good week. East Coast Reefer. Nice to see you. Nice to see you at Coral Freaks. Nice to see you doing the live stream as well. Much support for you there, mate. Happy Friday. Who else we've got in the house? Techers has joined us. Evening, Techers. Hope you're well. A regular. Leroy.
Bandit.
Hope you're well. Bandit. Hope you're snoring on your own tonight.
Ooh.
Not keeping me up. Who else have we got? Norfolk Reefer. Evening, Norfolk Reefer. Hope you're all well and tanks are good. Yes. I've got a skimmer working. Finally. The joys. Dave. Evening, Dave.
And Senna.
You're right, Dave.
Senna. It was nice to see you. John, you're a bit late to the party. You're normally at the top of the list, mate. What's happening?
Yes.
Laptop playing up.
Oh, laptop playing up. Right, okay. There we go.
Cheers, John. Don't know if you've noticed that. Cheers, boy.
He needs to do pint glasses because they just don't.
They are a bit tight.
They are a bit tight on the helpings, unfortunately.
Yeah, a bit stingy on the portion.
Ronald or Cammy, should we say? Cameron, real name. Evening, Ron. Thanks for joining. Or if it's new, it should be a belt. Let's get the likes in early. Would appreciate the likes if you can. Thank you very much. I don't know if I've missed anybody else. Oh, Alan, lovely to meet you at Coral Freaks. It's great to meet you. I'm
Alan the geezer. Was at the end from Scunthorpe. Is that Alan?
That's the one. That's Alan. That's Alan.
Oh,
yeah, that's Alan. Yeah, that's Alan.
Evening, Alan.
Evening, Alan. We've got Liam in the house as well. What did you enjoy Coral Freaks? Those of you that came,
mate.
I've not spoken to anyone that didn't enjoy it, Jeremy. I don't know about you, so I think it was
no. I haven't, and Paul's just been getting loads of compliments all week. So yeah, really pleased with it. Really pleased.
Good. Jupiter's Reef. Evening, Jupiter's Reef. Nice to see you in the chat. Southeast Reefer. Good evening to you. Edward Gibson. That's a new name. Christian, it's 8:01. Yes, we're going to talk about that in a minute in the weekly news. Amanda Davison, happy weekend all. Yeah, happy Friday. Hopefully I fixed it wrong. Let me know if I haven't. Who else have we got?
Sure, he will.
Oh, he will do. Sedders, evening. Wow. Dalius, evening to you, Dalius. Thanks for coming on. Hiya, Jack. Thanks for coming on, mate. Hope you're well. And I think we are there. So if anybody joins us midstream, I will make the effort, as always, to shout out and thank you for your support and coming on and chatting in the comments. If there is anything in the comments or anything that you guys in the comments, should I say, want to talk about this evening or bring to the chat, please put it in there. That would be great. Alternatively, you can drop us an email, anything you want to send in, any attachments, pictures of tanks, corals, anything you want to discuss, send it on the Gmail. That'd be great. That's the Reefers Network at gmail.com. Alternatively, you can send a DM to the Instagram page, which some of you have already started following, and a big shout out and thanks to that, which is the Reefers Network. So, Jeremy.
Yes.
Are we going to kick off while Christian is whatever he's doing with his new update on his website? I'm going to talk about some.
I would probably say.
He'll be doing something. I'm sure he'll join the show. Are we going to kick off with a bit of news? Do you think? Should we talk about
do a bit of news? Do you want to do a bit of my day job?
News? Okay. News. We've got some jingles to the new channel, so if you're ready, we'll go with the news. Okay.
Yep.
Right then.
I love that news. Okay. In the news this week, a bit of international news as well. Macna / Mazda. Have you heard of them? Macna?
Yes.
Mazda. Yeah. So that's the Marine Aquaric Society of North America. They've folded, they've closed, which means that the Macna show, the famous Macna show, the forerunner of all reef shows, has also gone for good. So that's quite sad and quite a kind of a milestone. I mean, the Americans, we were talking about, you know, us having a few beers and stuff at Paul's show. The Americans kind of invented that, and kind of, you know, the whole camaraderie, the whole kind of all the great and the good of American reefing all used to meet at the bar and have, you know, great times. So that's gone, unfortunately. So Reefapalooza's still going, Reef Stock's still going. But yeah, Macna is no more because Macna's gone. So that's
it's going to be a Coral Freaks US edition. No,
exactly. We're going international.
Well, how's that happened then? Has someone just pulled all their money out, or what?
I don't know the ins and outs, but it's a club, it's a society basically. So it needs people to take up the roles of, you know what it's like. You know, you need a treasurer, you need a chairperson,
you need a committee,
and you need a show committee. And every year it kind of rotates, and they've been doing it for a long time, probably 20 years, probably more. And I think people just kind of, you run out of roles to give people and stuff. I'm guessing. I don't know. But yeah.
Some of the greatest reef, some of the greatest sort of interviews or talks that I've seen on YouTube have all been from Macna.
Yeah, they've had everyone, you know, you name it, all of the best reefers we've ever heard of, you know. So yeah, so that's gone, unfortunately. Moving on, the MaxSpect Ethereal Infinite light. Did anyone see that at the Aqua H show? Did anyone go to Aqua H?
Yes, we did. What's it called? I'll see if I can share it in the screen. I mean, you have to make with the spelling here. MaxSpect.
Does it look pretty funky? Does it look pretty space age?
Yeah, it does. So it's the Ethereal Infinite. Infinite is the new bit. They've had a MaxSpect Ethereal before, but Infinite is the new model. And yeah, it looks properly space age. RGB lights, all sorts of like disco stuff going on the outside of the light. Just
I do remember this.
Yeah, not just us flicking, you know, disco mode in an app. This is oh, you got a better picture than that? Oh yeah, I am trying.
I am trying.
I think I was with Liam when I saw this. Liam might say I'm talking rubbish, but I'm pretty sure I was with Liam when I see this.
Yeah. So
not the greatest. Not the greatest. I'll try and find a better picture for you. Sorry.
We've had it on Reef Builders anyway, but yeah, so completely different looking light. It's their most powerful light to date. I think it's something like 270 watts. So I remember when, you know, Radian G5 broke the kind of 200 watt barrier, and now they're just, you know, they're all just going for it now. So 270 watts. Apparently it's got a potential power of 700 odd watts. I don't know why and how they can do that. But the array is completely different. So we're not talking individual diodes with lenses or reflectors. We're talking this kind of U-shaped array of hundreds and hundreds of LEDs underneath the light. And yet there's none in the middle. So you don't get this hot spot. So you get this kind of much smoother, more homogeneous light. It's still got all the different channels you'd expect, you know, lots of different blues, violet, white, etc. But it's quite cheap. I think I spoke to MaxSpect UK and it's going to be like 500 quid or something. So it's for a 270 watt light, and it's got all these kind of different things. I think you can do like regional settings on the app as well. So you can type in like Indonesia or whatever, and it'll do that. So
is there two of them, one more white and one bluer light, which seems to be everyone's avenue that they go down at the moment?
I think there's just one this time, but you are right that So you see, it's got like stuff coming out, almost like those TVs. You know, those backlit TVs that have got like LEDs in. it's kind of got visual effects. And when I was at the Aqua 8 show, it's got like Night Rider mode as well. It's got kit mode, and so you flick it, and that thing will go like.
I'm sure the
with
fish
red.
will appreciate that.
And as soon as I saw that, I was completely sold. I don't care about anything else. I just want it to be kit. I'd like it to talk to me as well. Yeah. So
how much did you say that was?
I think it's about 500 quid.
Blimey.
Right, okay.
But yeah.
So you're buying one then, are you, Jeremy? Are you having one? Is that on your Christmas list this year?
Of course, you put it in his bar for a party like.
I'd like to play with one. I'd like to see one over a reef tank first of all, and I'd like to, I'm not bothered about par readings. I'm sure it's got enough par. I'm sure it's got the spectrum, but I just want to have a bit of a play with it first. But yeah.
Did you say that is actually out at the moment?
I don't think it's quite out yet.
Right.
I think it's just coming out in America. I think.
What's the spread on the unit? Any ideas? What's it suitable for?
Is that like a mini diffuser on the end there? Then what is that?
It's a shade.
Oh,
it's got
right.
it's got like a front shade, because the problem, as you know, with all of these, it's not like rocket science, but basically the wider you make a light, the more you get sideways spread, don't you? It's just it's one or the other. And so by making it really wide, you're going to need a shade to stop it going in your eyes. So, yeah, that's what they've done anyway. So it looks kind of interesting.
And have you got any idea of what this suited to in terms of size tank? One of these tiles or one of these units?
Just go to technical details. Just scroll back up. Stop. Yeah.
Look fair size.
Yeah, the unit's about a 12-inch square. I bet it'll probably do 30 inches square, something like that. But realistically, 24 inches square. That's what I'd go for. One every 2 square foot. I'm sure it'll do a lot more than that. But the thing is, when people say, "Oh, a light will do 3 feet or 4 feet on its own," well, it won't if your coral's right on the edge, because everything behind that coral is then shaded. So it's kind of. It's kind of pointless saying that when really you're going to need 2 or 3 to kind of spread everything out. So, but yeah.
Is it me, or did that look more squarer than an XR30?
It's square and it's flat. Yeah. It's squarer than an XR30. Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Okay. And when are we going to see these land in the UK, do you think then?
Probably New Year's Eve for the parties.
Yeah, hopefully this year. Yeah.
Hopefully this year. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that.
What else have we got? TMC's brought out the BioGrow reactor again. So you guys must know all about these. We've seen them for years. The TMC reactors. Well, they actually disappeared for probably at least a year. They don't deal with that supplier anymore. So it's taken them quite a while to bring another one in. And that one's called the BioGrow 2.0. It's just good to have them back, really, because I think the ITC ALR1 disappeared for a bit as well a couple of years ago. So it's just kind of patchy kind of distribution on all of them. But it's just nice to have it back for people who don't want a sump, with Cheeto and all the rest of it, and algae and their skimmer. You could just put that, because when I've set one up for customers, I've put it outside of the sump as well, because it's watertight. You could just put it in the cabinet, so quite convenient, quite a nice way of keeping your Cheeto all together. So yeah, not bad.
Okay.
Interesting. After what a lot of the respected speakers said on Saturday.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting actually. Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we'll just elaborate on that. Basically, we had 5 experts on, and all 5 of them said they don't use macroalgae anymore, be it Callirpa, be it Cheeto. I think I kind of steered the question a bit incorrectly, in that the guy posing the question said, are they actually detrimental? Do they release kind of, inhibitors, coral inhibitors? Yeah. And I just kind of smoothed it off a bit and just said, do you use macroalgae or not? And they all kind of said no. But that's telling it in itself, because you've got a consumer coral farm, you've got a coral wholesaler who farms, you've got Jamie who spawns corals, and none of them were using macroalgae. So read into that what you will.
Yeah, I think it was good, because I think refugium's always been one of those debatable do you don't you sort of. I found that quite interesting.
I think they're great for growing your microfauna and your rotifers and your copepods, your amphipods and whatever else. But, I think it all boils down to what you're trying to achieve with your fish tank, doesn't it? Altogether, your system.
Yeah, and there's still been
size and money budget. Sorry, yeah.
There's still been thousands of successful tanks with macroalgae. I mean, there was the ecosystem method that brought it in. That was pre-2000. That's nearly like 30 years ago, and it worked then. Then Triton brought it in, and that was part of the bona fide Triton method. I mean, one of my clients' tanks now, it's a 1,500 litre tank with only Acropora, and I told him to put a macroalgae refugium in, and he's run it for 2 years. So it's not it's not killing corals by any means. If anything, I'd say it's adding to the kind of stability with pH and nutrients. So there you go.
Oh, go on then. While we're on topic, Liam, I'll let you get that one in for Jeremy. What's your thoughts on using something other than macroalgae for refuge? For example, pulsing xenia.
I mean, it definitely does really well in high nitrate. I did have a tank running once with loads of pulsing xenia and loads of macroalgae in a refugium. The only thing is with it, I don't know if you can light it permanently or not, but what I noticed when I was monitoring pH is when you turn the lights off, if you've got loads and loads of pulsing xenia, just like if you had macroalgae, you get a pH swing because it's photosynthesizing the algae within the polyps by day. And as soon as you turn the light off, you get a massive pH swing. So you'd have to have it on a reverse cycle, just like macroalgae.
Yeah, run it on. Reverse that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so they're back out. £239. How many different sizes of these do they do? Is it just the one or two sizes?
Two. Okay. Yeah.
And they can be run internal and external then, by the looks of it, with how they're made.
Yes, they've got unions and hose tails. So they look pretty decent. They've got it's a double-sided LED strip in there, and it's got an opaque casing. So it looks all right.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So on that subject, just to round it off, Black Friday sales have started already. So keep your eyes peeled if you're shopping for key electricals, because both sides of the Atlantic, UK and America, some big websites are starting Black Friday already today on the 1st of November. So keep your eyes peeled if you're shopping for.
When is it?
When?
Yeah.
24th or something? No, 27th, something like that. It's ages away. It's right at the end of November.
I'll be on holiday then. Didn't want to rub it in, but
yeah.
Black Friday. Let's have a look. Black Friday, 29th of November. Friday the 29th is what you're saying here on Google.
So it's a month early. So they're all fighting with each other to kind of get the offers out there first and tie up your cash. But now, it's not a cliche. Now is the time to buy this sort of thing. You will get money off, and some of them will be cheaper than they will be certainly for the rest of next year.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
bear it in mind.
And then Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Anything you're looking out for, Jeremy, in the sales for your tanks? So you've got a set up at home. Anything that you keep your eye out for?
I'm shopping for a tank actually, but I think I'm going to go custom. I think I'm going to do. There's always something with every off-the-shelf tank that I'm not happy with, but I'd like to improve or tweak. Do you know what I mean? Because I like to mess about. Go on.
External weir box on a custom tank. Is that something you'd go for?
Yeah, one of my clients has got it. I mean, it takes the, there's nothing pretty about a black skyscraper inside your tank. So if you can put it outside, the only thing is, if you put it behind, it then pushes your tank forward 4 to 6 inches. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
or set it into your wall if you're brave enough.
Yeah, So like my favorite tank would be a hole in the wall tank with like a peninsular weir that, like you said, Tom, is in the wall. So you've just got nothing.
Nothing.
That would be my
until
favorite.
You've got a leak, and then you're taking the wall down.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear. We've got a couple of other things in the news, then I think, haven't we? So, which one do you want to go with? So we've got a new shop opening, haven't we? Up in the north. Yeah. Let's have a look here for people that don't know. So I think tomorrow marks the start for a new shop. We've got. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry. Who is it? We've got Reef.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and thank you very much for everyone that's been following our journey so far and asking a lot of questions.
Absolutely loads has happened. We've got the tanks wet. We've got our wonderful scaping by Dan Clements at Aquascapes. We are having a grand opening the 2nd of November, guys. We really, really want everybody to come. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have giveaways. There's a lot of people coming. We're going to have a German sausage van outside. We're going to have the vending machines on. We're going to have everything here. There's a lot of people interested in this opening day, and we really hope to see you there.
We've obviously been buying a lot of stock. We've got a lot of fish. The systems are wet. They're all cycling currently. We've got the coral tables in the back, which Andy will take you through shortly, and all the fish. He'll show you everything that we've got so far.
All the fish are going to be rested. They're going to be fluked. They're going to be wormed. They're going to be observed. And basically, we've built them up to get perfect in your system.
And especially if you look at what we're investing in this shop for everyone, look at the size of this UV we've got here, guys. It's absolutely massive. It's going to keep the systems clear. Yeah. We've got one going on this system, and we've got an even bigger one coming next couple of weeks from
800
CMC,
watt UV. Huge.
Which is an 800 watt UV on the fish systems. We've got pods. We talked about pods and phyto last time. They're in the back room. They're just cooking now. We're just building it all up. We really can't wait for everyone to come in and see what we've done with the place.
Andy's got a lot to show you, so please let Andy show you around the shop.
Hi guys and girls, it's Andy here from Reef. Hope you're doing well. There's a lot going on at the moment. Obviously, Alex and Alistair have gone through everything with you. We're very, very nearly built, ready for opening on the 2nd of November. You'll have also seen the giveaway that's on the Facebook site. So if you go onto Facebook, you just need to share that and you can win yourself a Holy Grail torch. Website's going up pretty soon as well, so that's all good. There's going to be a lot on there, so we're going to be sending stuff out, etc, etc, etc. But if you come around the shop with me, I can show you where we're mostly up to, but obviously it's a work in progress, so come on. So this is really cool. It looks fab. I really like this. Coral tables are all wet and cycling at the moment. We have a massive load of frag racks coming from Pullet Pros, which are arriving this week at some point. Through this door here, obviously there is the Coral Lab. We're just waiting for the tables. We also have this area, which is the seating area. If you look up at the ceiling, it's awesome. We've also got the PlayStation 5 going in for the kids and probably me. Fish systems are in. They're just getting clad up at the moment. These are fabulous. We've had a lot of decent help with this stuff. That's it, really. So the next update will be just before we're opening. I'll do a big live video. We've got loads of fishing. We've got loads in from TMC this last week. Black tangs, Achilles, yellow tangs. There's loads. So we hope to see you on the 2nd of November, which is a Saturday.
Really hope to see you down there. Bring your kids. They can play on the PlayStation. They can see what we're doing. It's coming back to the Sea Life Centre, this place.
And remember, get ready for next level reefing. So yeah, they're Unit 2 in Canal Side, and they're in Rochdale, and that kicks off tomorrow. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them because, as we know, it's nice to see shops opening rather than closing. So they've got a few different discounts on for anybody that wants to make their way over there tomorrow. A few different discounts and raffles, free ICPs, German sausage van as well, and yeah, it should be a good day for those that make it. If it wasn't for last weekend, I'd be going, but I'm not allowed. I think I've used all my
not allowed.
Salty marine days
not allowed.
out. I'm not allowed after
9
weeks. No, but no. Big shout out to Andy and the guys up there. So it's nice to see a shop opening rather than closing. So I just thought I'd give them a shout out. So yeah, I hope people can make it.
Andy, who?
It's Andy that used to be at Radical.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
I'm joking, Andy. I'm joking. He rings me about every day. Bless him. Hi, Andy.
Yeah. Well, good luck to him anyway. I hope it goes well. I hope you have a smashing day tomorrow. That video was from a couple of months ago, or a couple of weeks ago, should I say. I know they've done a lot more work since, so it should be ready to rock and roll when the doors open tomorrow morning. But like he said on the video, he's doing a live stream tonight. So for those of you that want a bit more up-to-date information, follow him on Facebook, Instagram. You'll be able to see that.
It looks good, though, doesn't it?
It does.
It's great.
It's clean, organised. Yeah.
Plenty of UV. You can't have too much UV on a fish system.
And who doesn't want sausage on a Saturday morning? So
exactly.
Shall we talk? We need the man in the background, but he's disappeared, Jeremy. What we're going to do here? We're just going to wing it. We're going to go. What?
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know what he would do if he was here because I could ask him a question. But there's one thing that's been buzzing around my head since last Saturday. right,
Yeah.
is that you had those top reefers on the stage, including Paul, Jeremy, you was there, and Jamie, and so on. And the one thing that blew my head was they all said the level of phosphate that they run their farms and that one. That has blown my head this week.
It was high, wasn't it?
People fighting to get 0.03 to 0.06 or whatever, and you got all these people, some of them running at 0.15. And clearly, you know, is it Pat and Trina? Was it Pat and Trina? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Clearly do very well. You know,
it's really interesting. Sanjay Joshi in America has a really nice, well, he's got two nice tanks, one at the university and one at his house, both massive. I think they're 500 US gallons. So you're talking like 1,700 liters, both of them 20 years old. And he's got a phosphate level of 1 ppm and a nitrate of 100 ppm.
Wow.
And these corals are just like, so yeah. Meanwhile,
at least it's in sync.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, I've spent 20 years spending thousands of pounds trying to get my phosphate down to 0.04, and it appears I'm just too low. So,
just got a £200 order of Zeovit come through my door that I'd already ordered before Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. I might after this lot, which will take a while to use up, but after this last batch of Zeovit, yeah, food for thought. That really done me. That proper pickled me last weekend when I come away. Proper pickled me.
Yeah.
But proof's in the pudding.
Interesting. So, Jeremy, I'm going to go on to this because he's not here and we're going to move on without him. So, you did an article on this piece of reefing goodness. Tell us about this.
Yeah. So, Christian messaged me with this one and said, "What do you think of it?" I said, "It's amazing. It's in America, you'd call that a splice." So there's Top Shelf Aquatics has got one with this similar kind of green fluorescent pigment that's encroached into a kind of a pinky purple pigmented acro, and they call it a splice or a graft. And Christian's managed to do it, and he thinks he's done it through stressing it. So he's named it. He's called it split personality, which I think is a brilliant name for this coral. And it's a frag of, I think he said it's Acroporus salago from Indonesia. And something happened. He got a bacterial bloom. Something went wrong in his systems, and somehow the stress triggered this green fluorescent protein infection, and it's turned out amazing. I mean, that is, do you like it? I mean, I love it.
I do.
Yeah, it's awesome. And in the States, something like that would be $1,000 for a 1-inch frag. And so I guessed the price, and I said, "Oh, that'll be about $1,000 over in the States, Christian." And he said, "Yeah, it's 750 quid over here, which is about
equal.
And he sold it straight away. And since then, he's had 2 or 3 people who also wanted to buy it and couldn't. So I think he's regretting selling it.
Wow. What? So he's thinking he should have grown it out then. Right. Okay.
Nice though.
Who can afford a frag at 750? Well, somebody's bought it, John Boy, not me. That is for sure.
John could afford it. John could afford that. He's like got more money than the Beatles, John Boy.
Oh, talking about you.
You can still kill it as well.
God.
It is with burning. I told you, as soon as you mention £750 frag, Christian appears every time.
It's like magic, isn't it?
He's always got technical problems until someone wants to buy a coral and he's there.
That's it. It's the thing.
Tell us about this, Christian, because Jeremy's just to be kind to me. He's just giving us a bit of a background. Winged it. Thank you for that. So, split personality. What's the background? Where did it come from? How does it start? What is it? What we're looking at? Tell us about it.
So, remember me. You know, we were talking about grafting corals on one of our previous streams.
Yeah.
Well, so I've got this theory that you can kind of promote pigment grafts via some sort of stress factor, whether that be a bacterial bloom or like high organics or just things that upset the tank, right? Question the balance, or maybe the biological balance of the tank. Now, when you recover through that, if you recover, I've unfortunately, I've not done this on purpose, but this has happened many times in my reefing career, right? Because we all mess up. But on the backside of that, I've noticed that I've had pigment infections. So obviously I've been dealing with pigment infections for years. And what'll happen is I'll either stabilize straight away, and now kind of the new growth will just grow at random colors. So what can happen with a pigment infection is it may take over. So when I say stabilize, that means that it isn't going to take over. So the original historic colors will still come through and grow, but also the new infection will kind of be, I guess, in the DNA of the coral. I'm not a scientist, right? And then they grow at random as well. So that's what I call a stable graft when it doesn't take over. So you can either stabilize naturally, or you can cut a piece with that pigment infection off, grow it out. If it takes over, then reintroduce that back to the mother. Keep growing them together, because they will just fuse back together because of the same coral until it stabilizes.
Wow.
So this was just an Indo import Celigo, a red Celigo with kind of yellow corallites, and it went through this bacterial bloom, and then this freak was born. Very pretty, isn't it? When you've got a green on and a yellow on a red. So yeah, we've still got a mother. We'll continue to grow it. And
You've got the mother then. So you have got the mother colony of this.
Yes, yeah, I've got a mother colony. Yeah, but the mother colony is kind of it's like a block of colour. Apologies, and it's the branches coming off that are growing at random. It's really cool.
Wow.
As that grows, do you expect that patternation to even be in the new growth?
Yeah, so that's what. So when you've got a stable graft, so look at like the Reef Raft splice, you'll just get the random colours growing, and that's the aim of the game. That's what you want when you've got a stable graft. Right? Otherwise, one takes over, right? Yeah, interesting.
Wow.
Really nice.
So,
I haven't seen any of them in the UK, especially UK farms. So, yeah, fair play.
Christian, have you seen that before?
Yeah, loads. I've got loads of grafted corals, and some of them I just kind of think are a bit faddy. So, I mean, I've sold loads of PC rainbows with, green grafts in them. But because I've seen that, it's like anything. And the more you see it, the less you think of it. But then when you get a monster like this, where it looks like someone's had a paintbrush on it.
Yeah,
that's a different animal, right?
It's that contrast, isn't it? It's the kind of.
Oh, yeah.
You're quite right. It looks like paint has been dripped on it. Fluorescent paint.
Marbling.
Nice.
Is it real, Christian?
No, it's fake. I photoshopped it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty, innit?
No, that is very pretty.
And a one-off.
Yeah, a frag certainly. Well, there's only me and the customer who bought it who've got it in the world, right? So very unique, which is why I guess they offered what they offered. It's funny because the day after I had a higher offer.
No.
And then I had another well-known coral spawner extraordinaire ask for it, but the deal had already been done. So I'm not one to back out and look for something better. I'm a man of my word. So the guy who's bought it will cherish it as well, and he's really good with his acro. So there was no doubts about selling it to him, really.
That's something then, isn't it? At least you're fairly confident it's not going to strip by like Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine what must be going through that guy's head though when he's bought £750? I mean, we all have bought pricey or what we would probably feel expensive corals, but 700. I mean, I'm not saying it's not worth it. Please don't say I'm not saying it's not worth it. It's amazing, but that is serious do-re-mi, isn't it? There for a frag.
How big is it as well? Is that literally like an inch? Is that egg crate to scale behind it?
Yeah, so we're talking 30 mil max.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not huge, but I mean, the asking price, I told him what the asking price was going to be, and he said, look, I've been thinking about it. I want it. Will you not put it on the website? I don't want to fight anyone for it, and I'll pay you this much. And I thought about it overnight. I was like, okay.
Alan's saying it looks like Shazat did it.
Yeah.
Right? I think Shez should do a painting of that one. I'd love to see that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, dear. Wow. Any plans to do it anymore then? So it wasn't intentional. It was just an accident. You're saying it was just something that happened in the farm.
So I want, because I've had a few of these blooms and then out the other side of we've had these pigment infections. I think what I'd like to do in the future is set up a little nano and kind of force it and put some really exuberant corals in there, which are bright colors with some bright greens, and then just force a bloom, make a soup of bacteria maybe, and just let it bloom for a few days, maybe diffuse it with some nitrifying bacteria and potentially create some more. I don't know. I think it's easier than putting two random corals together and hoping for the best, right? And you always find if you put two separate colour morphs together, even of the same species, that they take a long, if they do graft, they take a long time. Montes are different, but like acros, they take a long time to kind of fuse and then grow. The grow is much slower on them, at least in the first few generations.
Dave's saying, why didn't you name it Spawn of Bowser after your go-karting?
Or was it slug with a twitch?
Slug with an itch, is what Drippy says. But no. Well, I hope whoever's bought it loves it and grows it out. So some of us might be able to get a frag for a little bit less than £750 in the future. But no. Okay, so over to you then. So you have been busy beavering away over the last few days, because I've spoke to you a few times and you've been proper stressed, Eric, with this latest upload. So tell us about it. What's happening? 140.
Yeah. So we've got 140 different morphs of Acropora gone live tonight. I don't know which one I like better, the Disney or the one next to it, which I've called Acid Trip. It's so bright, that coral.
Are they WYSIWYG?
So yes, we've got over 1,000 WYSIWYG Acropora, and this is why I've been a little bit quiet this week. It's taken me all week just to do the Acropora, right? So yeah, we went live, and apologies for leaving the stream and coming back. The website crashed, and I was a minute too late in activating all the products, so I had to drive home. And yeah, I believe so. Yeah, sorry for all those who were there at 8 o'clock. Everything's on there now. But yeah, it's our biggest acro update to date. 140 different types.
Wow.
So there's literally something for everyone. Like really cheap stuff. There's some exuberant, expensive stuff. Happy days. God, what a stress that was.
Did you tell you there's some LPS in there as well? Because I mean, traditionally you are the stick man, you know, in the north. What else is up for grabs for people?
So yeah, we've got a load of different encrusting LPS. I've actually reduced the price on a lot of those because some of the torches that I wanted to do, then just not quite ready. I thought they might like an extra month. So apologies for those who are looking for torches, but there will be a later date. But we've got some really nice stuff that I'm working on. I just want to make sure that they're when I separate them, they're going to be really, really solid for people. But yeah, there's torches. We've got some lovely single polyp stuff on there, as long as it's all live. But yeah, I've been on the lookout for some real special pieces. So hopefully people see that when they have a look at the site. It was a really tough decision not to keep a lot of them, but they're on there. All right. So we'll see.
Cool. And that's gone live tonight, so anybody can dip the bread right now.
That's it. They're on the site right now. I'm not saying don't look at the stream. Obviously, watch the stream on repeat later. That's fine. Go and shop for scorals.
Any recommendations? Anything that you think that's a bit of a one-off at the minute on the website? Anything that people should be looking out for that you don't often have, or
it's all on budget, right? It depends how much you want to spend or how much you're prepared to spend, or you think something's worth. There's some excuse me. There's some bits I've been working on for. You know, we lost in the crash last year in October, and I managed to get them back as a frag, and I've had to grow them from a frag and then finally just releasing a couple of frags of them.
Okay.
So they're pretty special. Like the bubble yum, that's really pretty.
Oh,
that's like
gorgeous.
Even things like that Red Planet, you know, I've had that for years, and I had to grow it back out to get a frag off it. So there's the bubble yum, yeah. Small frags.
Which one?
But
middle left.
That was bubble gum. Cool.
Sorry, do apologise.
That's it. Yeah.
Proper lovely.
Oh, okay.
It's it's when you look at it in the flesh, you're like, that's everything you want an acro to be, really. You know, when you think American ridiculous filtered corals, you just see it in front of your eyes. It's okay, that's a real thing. So, yeah.
And you're doing this deal, aren't you? Sorry, Drip. You're doing a deal for people. So you do a buy 6, so 6 for the price of 5. So your cheapest one free. Is that right? Have I got
That's
that
right. That's right. So obviously, you know, our frags are at a certain price because of all the work we put into them and the effort and the time involved in producing them. So, yeah, it's just a little bit of a way to give back. So 6 for 5 and 6 fill a box nicely. They ship really nice.
Christian, do you share your light settings so that people are more likely to get the color and success that you've had in growing them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty transparent with that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, there's no like written, guide to success book. It's literally just husbandry and experience, right? It's keeping your parameters stable. So the lighting, I just use the SPS AB Plus program from Ecotech.
Yeah,
that's it. Nothing special. I mean, they put so much investment and R&D into and work into finding the right spectrum to grow corals and color them nicely. So why not just trust them?
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, but do you tweak it? Have you got a custom spectrum?" I don't think you need to.
I think you're right. We at the show at Coral Freaks, we met the couple who developed AB Plus with Ecotech, and you know they tried it against T5, halide, you know, and they're a coral farm. You know, it's their crop; they need to grow them. There's no point in tricking anyone, or you know. So yeah, AB Plus all the way.
Yes, it works.
Christian, how did you get on with the beast?
How did I get on with what? Sorry, tripping
Is
mate.
the beast back?
No, the beast is. I've took it off sale for now because I'm not quite happy with it. So it will be coming back. It will be coming back. There's one I've named Corruption, which is kind of similar looking, but it's a different species. I think that's a Clafferata. That's a really good grower. So that's just been released.
Are you moving? Last time we spoke, Christian, you said you were moving almost exclusively to acros.
See, I think it's nice to have a bit of everything for everybody. So when we get these new tables online, I think even Zoas and bits and bobs, but it's just a case. It's more of a just for having them, you know. And being
You
able
mean
to
you're an addict? Come on, admit it.
Of course it
Well,
is.
you know, I started with a display tank and I've ended with a coral farm. So yeah,
you've got to have
I
something
would
that
need
moves
display.
as well, haven't you? As a mate, you know, it kind of highlights everything else if you have something a bit soft and fluffy that will kind of, you know.
I know, right? I mean, we've got a nano display at the shop, and it's all almost exclusively LPS, and it just looks incredible. And have you seen Reef Dork's new display?
No.
Like he shared a video the other night, and it's early days, but wow, that thing's beautiful. The scape he's got, it's just like shelves and arms. And you can just imagine when it's all grown out and he's got all these different color moss. The thing is with LPS as well, it's just like much easier. You know, how much effort do you want to put into your tank?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, as amazing as all your acros look, we all know that acros can just punish you if you let your regime go. So
they can. I mean, there's those of us who think they're easy. They're easy to keep alive, and every time you punish them and they stay alive, they're better for it, you know. But
I'm going back to page 9. Sorry, Christian, because there's one in here that I think needs a shout out. So this is named after. So this is called Malibu Warrior, and I'm just searching in the background on my oldest.
Is that a Millie?
I don't know whether he's in this.
That is a Millie, yeah.
Streams actually.
Do you mind just clicking on the colony shot on maybe the last colony shot? Really pretty.
Yeah.
Really pretty coloration.
There we go. And why is it called Malibu Warrior, Christian?
So we've got a friend. So Tom was part of his building the community and is building the Reefers Network. He really wants to build the community, right? So we've got
true. That's true.
It's not an exclusive WhatsApp. It's anyone's welcome to join it and welcome to join in on the festivities. But we've been meeting up once a month and just getting together and kind of bringing back that social aspect, which is now lacking because of the lack of of LFSs around the country, right? We used to go to the LFS, spend half a day there, meeting random hobbyists and just chatting a day away. So we thought, how can we do that? And Tom thought, how can we do that? He's got the Jolly Boys group. So we all meet up and we get together, have a drink, have a laugh. And one of our members, Tim Raper from Wakefield, got a beautiful reef system. He was force-fed, well, not force-fed, but almost drip-fed Malibu, a whole litre. This is after several cans of lager by dripping. He was like the devil on his shoulder. Poor guy. Tim didn't know what hit him. He was drinking pints of Malibu, man.
So it is actually Malibu related to the drink.
Oh, yeah.
I wondered if it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate. It was a great day.
I think the night started when Tim said, "Do you remember Acid House from the 80s?" I was like, hey. I says, "How old do you think I am?" So of course we put it on, and he's raving.
He was off.
At the end of
He
it, and
was off.
unfortunately, well, this was when it was
Listen
going
to
well. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me share this.
Oh, yeah, you got some photos from it.
I've got some photos. So this was when it was this was when it was going okay. And this is how it ended for him. So hence why it was called the Malibu Warrior. But anyway, I thought
Whereabouts was that in the country? Where did you meet up?
Tom's back garden.
my back garden.
Ah.
Yeah, we had 20 reefers, August bank holiday. It was good. Thanks again for everybody that joined us. It was good. We're going to do another one next year, bigger and better. I can say that because the missus downstairs and the office door's locked. But yeah, bigger and better next year. More people, more reefers.
Jeremy can host the karaoke next year.
Yes. You could be like the rave on Phoenix Nights. I can imagine that.
Reefioke. Yes.
Right, I'm just going to jump into the chat because there's a few people that have joined us. I've not said hello to you. Thanks again. Happy Friday to you. Thanks for coming on. We've got Aquarian. Thanks, Aquarian. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you have a good week. Oh, end of the week. Good Friday night. And we've got Nick, Mr. Chan. Hope you're doing well, mate. Nice to see you in there. We've got a couple of questions.
Was Jeremy frozen?
Jeremy has frozen.
Jeremy has frozen.
Question
Oh,
for you, Christian. He'll come back on, or he'll realise. Oh, he's gone. He's come back on. Liam's asking you about any ideas or advice on colouring torches. Anything to look out for? I didn't think about colouring torches. Good question.
I actually think flow really helps with torches, and having a good blast of chaotic flow every once in a while. Not enough so that they grow deformed on their skeleton, but
yeah,
a good blast of flow really helps them. Obviously, the stability. Yeah, I find torches quite easy, but they can take a while to colour up from the wild. Obviously, if you're going to buy a torch, buy an aquaculture torch. That's what I would say. You know,
do you target feed them or anything, or do you just let the fish do the talking?
I broadcast feed torches. Yeah, I think there's something come out a few years ago that said if you target feed them quite heavy foods, that it can cause rot and it can induce brown jelly. So I tend not to try and target feed them. But I'm not a torch expert, you know.
Yeah.
I just kind of just let them do their thing. I think another thing that really helps torches, what I found. So I used to have them in egg crate on frag plugs, and they're waving about and being knocked about. They're not rigid, but as soon as you stick it onto something that doesn't move, the torch does better. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So I figured that out. But good flow. I think people don't give torches a good enough flow.
We were talking about, Tony was talking about that, wasn't he? Tony Vargas was talking about that the weekend about the gonnies, about saying, I know you weren't there, sorry, Jeremy, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes,
you're back in the room?
I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm back.
We were talking about the flow with the Goniapora, wasn't it? About it saying it grew so quickly and so well because it was getting alternate flow from one end to the other. Can you remember that? Was I in the same room? Yeah,
I do. I think, and another guy, the biggest Gonny I've ever seen in the UK. The guy said the same thing. It was like SPS flow, if not Acropora flow. It was high light, high flow.
He needs to pay his internet bill. This is funny.
They've got a meter at this portable office. Is that?
Put another pound in it, Jeremy. Come on. That's a picture. I need to screenshot that and send it in. Bless him.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. This is what we want. This is what we brought you on for. We didn't bring you on for knowledge. Just brought you on for entertainment value. So
I've paid for this as well. I've paid to rent an office, and the Wi-Fi is no good. So
Refund, mate. Refund.
Yeah, but more flow for LPS, definitely. Torches, gonnies, a lot more flow. Christian's right.
I think people underestimate it. I go and see a lot of tanks, and I walk in. I'm like, they're like, "Oh, my tank's struggling." I'm like, "Okay." First thing I see, there's no flow. So I just put another power head, turn them up. Well, what are you running your power heads up? 30%?
Yeah.
I don't want to stress anything out. Or you are, because you haven't got enough flow.
Isn't it weird though, sorry, because like when I first got into it, you had it was all about no nitrate, no phosphate. And now we're talking about people like experts running it at 0.1, whatever. And flow wasn't even discussed. Flow wasn't like, I'm talking like, early, mid 2005, 2010, something like that. Flow wasn't even discussed. It was like, if you've got nitrate and phosphate, you can't have SPS. Mad. It just changes. Do you think it's going to change again in the next couple of years and it'll be a different fashion or something else is going to come about? What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I do. So if you take Salem from Reef Builders, he says that corals take up ammonia in preference to nitrate, and nitrate is not a very good nutrient. Now that kind of ties in with the whole planted community thing, because aquarium plants, freshwater aquatic plants take up ammonia in preference to nitrate as well. It would appear it's a better nutrient, but there's a lot of kind of confrontation and arguments as to how to deliver that ammonia. I just think that you may as well use fish. I think that if you're dosing ammonia and you've got a high pH, ammonia is more toxic in a high pH, and we're all aiming for like 8.4. I just think you got to be careful, and the concoction as well. The concoction is a mix of 20 different coral foods, and then we're all going, yeah, the corals are much better, and it's like, well,
I was really enjoying that, and all.
That'll be fun.
So Jeremy is waiting for a new router to be delivered. It was due sometime before Monday.
We heard most of that, Jeremy. Anyway, we heard most of it.
I can't
Don't
believe
worry,
his
you can
wife
come
was
back on
cutting
Sunday
out.
morning.
Can't believe it.
I've got a question for you. Well, for Christian and probably anybody else, if Jeremy wants to jump in. East Coast Reefers asking, Christian Fro, maybe Christian, the stickhead may know. I got a purple and pink acro at the Frag Swapper Aqua H, which is more green with a hint of blue. How do I get the purple and pink back? Any advice?
So purple and pink would be, so I think it's just decolored in your tank. So I don't know what light you're running. I don't know how much flow you've got, and I don't know how stable you are. Generally, with acros, to colour them up, it's stability, good light, good flow. Maybe send me a picture and let me know the species, and I'll have a look at it. And send me a few pictures of your setup, and we'll see if we can figure it out for you.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Good of you. Brilliant. Thanks for that.
Happy to.
Dallas is saying, my Dragon Soul got colours back as soon as I got the PO4 bit higher. Maybe it was just time. Interesting. I've never done really well with torches. They seem to be a little bit. Am I right? They like water a little bit more like acros than other LPS. They want it a little bit cleaner. I think. I find torches not dirtier. Or am I wrong in that? I don't keep torches. I'm more a stick person. But I tend to find that torches seem to want the water a bit cleaner rather than dirtier like other LPS. Yeah,
I don't know. I really don't know. I've never figured it out. Obviously, we keep our LPS system a little bit dirtier, but it has. I know the torches have been impacted when we've bottomed out on nutrients. They don't like that. Not a lot of corals do.
They don't really like change either. You know, you say they're different to LPS. They're different to hammers and frog spawns as well. You know, very different. Hence, they're narrow.
You can start calling him half sentence Jeremy.
No, it's not Jeremy Gates. Jeremy May. May finish.
May finish.
Oh dear.
Oh, bless you, Jeremy.
This could be
What-
a really good. This could be a really good game, right? You start talking, and then the audience have to guess what you were going to say at the end of it.
It's Tom. It's Tom getting rid of my video feed. You ask me a question, as soon as I come up with an answer, you just like freeze me. But,
Deny.
playing games. What did I miss when I had to disappear? Apologies.
everything.
Christian, Jeremy was fine. Jeremy was fine, wasn't it? It's only started out in the last 15 minutes or so.
It's me. The connection issues will be at first my website crashes, and now I'm crashing Jeremy. There you go.
Dear.
Well, I mean, for once, it ain't me. So
You get some replies to what he's saying to East Coast Reefer, Christian. So he's saying, "How it as high as I can, and lights are as high as I can take them. So I guess it'll be green for me."
They don't like fishing. I can tell you that much. Mine are sulking.
I mean, there's no reason. A lot of the starting colours of acros are green until you get them coloured up. So it could be simple, something simple like, "He's here. Let's make the most of it." Quick, Jeremy, say something.
I can't. As soon as I speak, I freeze.
Oh dear. Oh,
I'm just
John's
gonna
having a
sit
bit.
here and
John's
behave
having a
myself.
jab at you. You need to cater for all reefers, Christian, not just stickheads.
Exactly, sir. This is why we do have
John,
scattering of LPS. I think there's 100 different LPS, and maybe 150 different LPS on there. So
You don't want Noel Edmonds after you?
all I need is a John Wright special mug, and I'll put anything.
Oh, that's what it's down to, John. See,
I like
Oh,
that.
I like that.
Nice, isn't it?
That's awesome.
I'll get used to the camera, though.
Scott, evening, Scott. Not seen you for a while. Hope you're well, mate. What's the expected Big R price?
It's going to be expensive.
What is Big R
Yeah.
for people? I don't know what Big R is. What
The
is
Walt
Big
Disney,
R?
right? That's the Walt Disney.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've got to get them grown out first. So hoping for a March release at the time with our birthday. They'll be expensive, but I'm just going to do one release on it. So probably get about 40 frags ready. And if you want them, you can pay for them. If not, there'll be no reserves. I'm not having playing this game like, oh, can I reserve it? And be a fair game. Just come and jump on if you want it. Everyone's got a fair chance then.
And if you want to speak to Christian after you've bought them all, it'll be an international dialing tone because he'll be in Bali.
That's right. That's right.
That should be your slogan. If you want it, come and jump on. That should be your birthday slogan.
I thought it already was.
Oh dear me!
Brilliant.
So when are they going to be dropping? When do you expect the Walt Disneys or the Big R's? Why is it called? Why do you call it Big R?
Yeah,
what's
why?
that about?
That's the guy who named it.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Mike Bigger. Oh, God rest his soul. He died, bless him. But yeah, he used to have a license plate that said Mr. WD. That was his license plate for his car. Yeah.
That's Walt Disney, Tom, just in case you was struggling with that.
I know.
But are we sure that wasn't actual Walt Disney who had a car with WD on it?
Maybe he bought it afterwards. I don't know. Maybe Mr. Walt Disney. You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Oh dear.
Or it could just be a geezer named William David. Who knows?
Welcome to the stream, Jeremy. Nice to have you.
Well,
I'm
trying not to move because I've had about 30 seconds of being part of the conversation again. So, yeah, so far so good.
Well, you've developed us with the news, and now you're just filling a little bit of a gap. It's fine, mate. You know, it's like thanks for your contribution. It's been appreciated.
I'm going to wrap myself in tin foil or something because this. I don't know. I mean, maybe they turn the wife off at night. I don't know.
It's Christian.
Just wet your finger and stick it in the Ethernet port. You'll be certain.
I don't even know where it is.
Dave's asking thoughts on Aussie versus Indo. Aussie just naturally more brighter, but head grow bigger before splitting rather than Indo thinner structure. Christian, euphilia, I think he's meaning. Yeah, Aussie versus Indo, euphilia.
I really don't know, Dave. I'm sorry. I'm not an expert. I know most of the colour moss we're getting now. Obviously, Indo, the torches are banned from Oz at the moment. So, what do you think, Jeremy? You've got more experience.
So the tentacles are thicker on Aussie ones, although thinking about it, they're not thicker than like a tiger torch, which is like Malaysian stroke Indo. They tend to be shorter. They tend to be more difficult. But you also get West Australian torch, like Rastas, which are different again, much shorter, probably more temperate as well, being West. Great Barrier Reef, as Christian says, that's closed to the UK at the moment. But you know, when we used to wholesale them, no one had any luck with Aussie Gold Torch wild ones. And when I spoke to Shane about it from Sustainable down in Australia, he said really high flow, really shallow water, tentacles shut in the day. The water flow was that strong, virtually intertidal as well, you know, so not brackish. Some people were saying they were brackish, but he quashed that one. He said they're full salt.
There's a guy who'd know, right?
Long way to
Been
travel,
danger.
though. Long way to travel, yeah.
Whereabouts is sustainable reefs in Australia? Whereabouts?
I think it's about halfway down Queensland.
Right, the East Coast, right.
Yeah. No, he's good. And he used to collect corals as well, so he knows what he's talking about.
When are you going to? So Drip is for Drip. So you're going to Australia, aren't you? You're going to see your cousin on the 23rd, second of November. And where are you going to be going? Where are you located? Where are you dropping?
Down to Perth. So I'm going to a place called Jindalee in Perth. He's done well for himself out there, so he's got a nice setup out there on the beach. Been waiting to go out there for donkey's years, and I just finally got to the point where I was like, just, you know what I mean? Life's about time, and then the time was right, so off I go. For the best part of, I think it's about 16 days or something like that. But yeah, looking forward to doing some scuba diving and some snorkeling out there. But funny enough, he sent me a video this morning. I don't know if anyone's seen it on YouTube, of a geezer called something Ryan. Is it Tim Ryan or Tom Ryan? Who was just crayfish collecting with his mate in like the grassy, you know, the grassy reefs, rather than and out of nowhere, two great white sharks just started stalking them and sort of looking like they were quite hungry, and they were running out of air and literally made a dash for it. And one geezer made a dash for it, got to the top, sort of shouted out for the boat to come over, and then at the end of it, they both survived, bless them. But yeah, cage diving and things like that is something that I look forward to doing when I'm out there. Sharks are quite.
So somebody nearly got ate by sharks, and you want to go in a cage to look at sharks?
Can't wait. Yeah. Live life on the edge. Come on.
As long as you're in a cage, you're all right, I think. Perth's on the wrong side, though, isn't it? I don't think that's your problem.
There are a lot of sharks along that side, but obviously, you know, Reef being into reefing and having a Great Barrier Reef on the other side, it kind of, you know, I have asked him why on earth did you have to be on this side, but do you know what, mate? There'll be some beautiful things out there. Like I've spoke to a few people, watched a few, you know, there's, you know, sea dragons out there that are very possible sightings.
Wow.
Which would be insane to see.
Yeah.
Just different accurate. We had Sam Parker on, didn't we? Not long ago. Funny enough, I think that was after the barbecue, wasn't it? Was it?
I think so.
And he was saying about the difference in corals from east to west, and
Yeah.
you know, and not all my time is going to be spent underneath the ocean, but quite a fair chunk of it will be. And do you know what? It's just nice to go and see some reefs. And I'll tell you what, it's nice because it's a lot more temperate down there. Nice to see reefs that are not decimated and bleached. And do you know what I mean? You'd hope with temperate water, it might have not had so much damage done to it.
You might see some temperate symphilias and stuff as well, because the water's probably more turbid. If you got great whites, they're more temperate, and the leafy sea dragons. So, yeah, you could see some cool LPS corals there. Maybe some MPS as well.
Wow.
Just before you get your head taken off.
Yeah.
He's taking his laptop out there. He's going to do the live stream from there, haven't you? You've promised me, no matter what the time difference is, you are going to commit to this to the stream. So,
well, I'll still be getting up to watch Spurs, even though that's, you know, for me sins anyway. So I'll be fine.
Okay. Jump into the chat. A couple of questions. Thanks, Ron. I think you've started to answer one of them. Dallas is saying, "Who can help with millipora? I think I've got tulip polyp syndrome." Any thoughts, Christian?
Yeah, so try some erythromycin, take it out and put it in a bath, about 6 or 8 hour bath in erythromycin. I think that is what is going to cure it. But stability, it should just go away on its own. You want to get on top
What is
of
it? Sorry, what is it for people that haven't heard of it?
Tulip polyp syndrome, Tom.
Yes, we know that. But what does it look like? How would you know you've got it? Or
So the polyps actually look like. So imagine a polyp's normally like that.
yeah,
Okay, and then imagine you've got like a band around it halfway up. It kind of looks like that. They don't not allowed to open up.
okay.
There's a proper name for it, pilanasia or something like that. I think that's wrong. But yeah, they almost look like they're blistered. Very strange looking, but they can infect and they can kill the coral. But with good stability, apparently they can go away on their own. It's not something I've ever had. Jack had it. He struggled with it. He just cut all the infected branches away and got rid of it. But was it you who sent me a picture, Darius, or someone else sent me a picture recently? And they'd had tulip polyp, but we think erythromycin will probably knock it into.
Is it just the millipora, or is it SPS in general? Could it pass from one species to the next? Or
Yeah, I believe it just spread across the different acros. So
wow. So you need to deal with it then.
yeah, yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah. So erythromycin, if you're struggling to get hold of it, ChemiClean, that's made with erythromycin. So again, just PM me. We'll talk about it.
Cool.
You can try.
What is that? An antibiotic?
Yeah. It's so ChemiClean's got erythromycin in it, and basically it just kills most bacteria in your tank, positive and negative. It's like recycling your tank, which basically kills off biome and stuff.
Right, John's saying his mate's just got a brittle starfish which is at least 2 foot wide. So I'm assuming that came out of Skegness Beach, John. It must
You
have
could have
done.
got one off you for nothing. You've got about 6 of them, haven't
2
you?
foot wide. Wow.
Horrible.
That's some size.
I hate them. They give me the creeps. They're horrible. 2 foot wide.
Yeah, they're not the nicest of things, are they?
I thought Matt got some big ones. Starfish. Clean your mind, sir. Oh God, gets worse.
Yeah, they came out of a tank. They came out of a tank break. To be fair, they came out of a tank breakdown, and it was when I think it was Love to Reef when we came down, and I got a picture on them, and I thought something in my head was telling me that they weren't reef safe. I don't know why, but something was saying they weren't reef safe.
They eat
and I
fish.
can remember saying to Connor, Paul Hughes' lad, I've got it on my phone. I was like, "Are these reef safe?" Because I don't think they are. And he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure." And Paul was in the shop, and he said, "Show me." And I showed him my phone. He went, "No." They literally, apparently, they're like I don't know, stretch their arms up or the tentacles up so that they're like sort of like postured like that, and wait for a fish to swim underneath and just literally bosh straight on.
That's why you're matched to me.
They can see as well.
Really?
Yeah, they've got light sensors on the end of each arm that they use like eyes, so they can actually hunt fish. They're proper creepy. The little tiny ones that live in live rock, they're perfect. They're detritivores. You can have 500 of them in your tank, no problem. The big green ones, horrible, predatory, disgusting. Yeah, don't like them. Don't like them at all. And I normally find them in sumps, in really old sumps. And there's one about kind of that big, and it just kind of like the way it crawls, it's just like a demented spider. It's horrible.
Yeah.
What's the biggest one you've come across? Starfish, Jeremy?
Not 2 foot, about 8 inches.
That's massive.
10 inches, 12 inches, not 24.
I've come across a few rough ones in my time, and all to be fair.
Oh,
seen one on that Channel 4.
East Coast Reaper, thank you for that, Christian. Rama, how you doing, Rama? Hope you're good, mate. Nice to see you in the chat. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. Do you back the flow off during the night or keep it ramped up constantly? Good question. Anybody? Jeremy?
So Tunzi used to do a light sensor. I think they still do for the wave box and for their pumps. And the theory was that when your lights went off, it would turn your flow down. Not off, but down.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, right, the sea doesn't turn off at night. The sea doesn't have less waves at night. If anything, storms are more violent at night than they are in the day. So I say 100% don't turn it down.
Yeah, I'd have to say that from visually looking at my tank as well, with it being mainly sticks. All the polyps come out at night, so they feed in. So they're going to want to catch anything that's passing through the water column. And the more turbulent water there is, the more likely there is that they're going to pick something up, you would think.
I mean, you could change the flow, couldn't you? That would work as well. To like,
Yeah.
you know, if you go in predominantly left, flick it to predominantly right on like a 6 hour or something, and maybe that will pick up a load of dirt, you know, to coincide with the polyps opening. That might be quite cool. Or nutrient export mode or whatever on your pumps.
I have a period of night where it happens twice. So I turn the pumps off for an hour, twice in darkness.
Is that for them to feed though, as opposed to?
No, it's when he talks to the corals, Jeremy, when he's on his own.
It's when I come down and sing to him at midnight, you know, and feed him. No, so I'm bubble scrubbing, and when you've got the flow on, the bubbles come out of the return and they just kind of go to one side. So I thought my theory was just turn the pumps off and let the bubbles go through, and just hopefully that helps clean the tank a bit more. And there's been a lot of speculation that corals would like a rest period apart from being battered all day long. So it's just something I'm trying.
I think that's more of a, like we said, like a tidal change thing though. I think for an hour, I think that sounds good. But, you know, again, you got to watch pH, haven't you? If it was like all night, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
See, my next project on my tank is to get this one of these sort of portable fridges that you can get from Alfred's, drill some holes in it, magnetic stirrers, and feed some particulate food at night when all the polyps are out. Because ideally, you want to try and train them to feed during the day, not just at night, but naturally they are programmed to feed at night when the lights go off. So you might as well feed them at night. Because we feed them during the day, don't we? When the fish are swimming around, the lights are on.
Well, they got a massive polyp extension at night, right?
So I'm saying so they're more likely to grab it, is what, you know, in theory.
Yeah.
And they've got.
Have you seen any crazy feeding contraptions in your times, Jeremy?
I think there is a frozen food auto feeder now in the States. I think there is a proper one, which it can't do frozen food. It must do defrosted frozen food.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like liquid suspension kind of soupy type foods. But yeah, it does exist. But I've never got to use one or play with one. So.
No, I know at Vast Marine they released one for freeze dried food, and it kind of grinds it really fine. And I don't really know how it works, but you can put freeze dried food in it, and the idea is it feeds it in such a way that it just doesn't go down the overflow. It's so crazy. It's limitless, isn't it? What you can do.
When you say freeze dried, do you mean like Reefroids, or do you mean like kind of old school freeze dried Artemia and stuff?
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff. You know, like the old cyclopes, right?
Leroy is saying with torches, it's all down to stability, salinity mainly, is what he says from his experience. These are quite a few torches, to be fair. I think
they just don't like change, do they? They don't like high temperatures. They don't like KH bounces. As I say, I think they're quite sensitive.
Yeah, and not having pests.
Christian, you're getting a mug from John. He bought one for you, but didn't see you aqua until I was leaving.
Thank you, John. You've made my evening. Thank you, sir. I very much look forward to getting that. You do know that, John, but we've got a lot more staff, or shall we say team members, to the Reefers Network. So
yes, you need to increase production tenfold.
Increase production.
I'll speak to you about it. Evening, Rob. Hope you're having a good holiday. You've more holidays than I don't know what.
Is he away again?
No, he's not. He's in the UK, but he's gone on a country cottage thing for however many weeks. With his missus and another couple. So hope you're having a great time, mate. In the pub, middle of nowhere, my pub Wi-Fi is better than Jeremy's.
Wonder if he's flying in his helicopter.
His fish are absolutely insane. They are the best fish I have ever seen in any tank.
Is this the big tank in the garage? Is that the same guy?
Yes.
I think I've met him. I haven't been to his house.
Yes.
And everyone says pelagic, but I say pelagic. Which is it?
Yeah, that's what I said. Pelagic, yeah.
I say pelagic. But everyone Paul calls him pelagic swimmer, but yeah.
Either way, his fish are amazing. And yeah, thanks for him entertaining me and Lee and Dave. To be fair, it's quite funny because in one of his videos he said, "I've got Tom TV Corals and One Arm Reefer coming down, and I've got Dave." So because he didn't know Dave's tag, his Instagram tag was, but no, it was it gets so hot up there. Christ, the amount of water and the heat. He's got 16 XR15s running on that system. There's a lot of heat coming from it. But yeah, really amazing system, and yeah, top bloke. Thanks, Rob. Hope you have a good holiday, mate. Could you not import them to a country that has no restrictions then here to the UK?
Import
Don't know what we're on about here. I'm trying
Australian torches.
I'm thinking that must be what he was saying, because that was what he was talking about a second ago.
If it's
As
corals,
be
no,
patient.
it's smuggling. I'm an OATA
Be
person. No, it's illegal. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Be patient. Surely. I mean, how long have they been banned now, Jeremy?
2
Aussie
years.
imports.
2 years.
Because I remember coming down to PM, and all the lads were like, saying, "You've got to buy these acanthostrayas now. You've got to buy these now because they're never coming in again." Well, they had a big tub of scollies. Working with water and things like that. Do you know any kind of updates? Any idea of what's going on there?
No, I kind of chased it up the other day. I think there's 4 species have been allowed since. So I think you got cats, bowers, fungia, and what's the other one, Christian? Do you know? There's 4 species. So some of them, it's all about these environmental assessments. So basically, the Australians need to prove to the British kind of part of DEFRA, called the JNCC, that the collection of their corals is not detrimental to their numbers. It's called a non-detriment finding. And so far, the Australians haven't been able to provide that, especially with things like scollies. So we're the only country in the world that has erred on the side of caution and said, well, until we get the numbers, we're better off not taking any. But the problem, not the problem with that, is that they just go elsewhere. So, I think someone told me 1,000 scollies a week go to China. So,
Wow. They probably eat them.
Yeah, probably eat them. Yeah, probably eat them.
And so we're going, well, let's do the right thing. Let's be British about this. Let's go, no evidence is bad evidence. And but everyone else, America especially, is open for Queensland. So we are missing out.
British holding it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to start ordering it from your takeaway, mate. Bleeding apple and fried rice. Scully.
Yeah.
How do you even prove that it's not detrimental?
They got to count them.
What the amount of wild scollies on the seafloor? They got to count them without picking them up and selling them.
Yeah. And dodging the great whites while they do that.
Yeah, Great Barrier Reef, which is rather large.
Total contrast to Hawaii, as it's all like it's obviously them that have to say so, and total contrast. Good old
yes.
Brits.
So the Aussies are open for export. It's us that are closed for import from Queensland. So a bit of a shame, really. But that's why I joined OATA, to try and get our voice heard. So we've got people who go to these things, these CITES meetings. There was one in Australia recently, and they flew people over and they stand up and say, what's going on, where's the evidence, etc. So we'll see.
This board that are stopping this, Jeremy, what did you call them? The JN something?
They're called the JNCC. They're the part of DEFRA who deals with CITES.
Are they hobbyists or what? Who are these people?
They are scientists. They're not. They might be hobbyists, but it's all about
bureaucrats to me.
It's all about data. It's all about data.
Greenpeace and all that involved?
No. It is. CITES is actually to do with the trade in animal species, not the protection in terms of World Wildlife Fund. So, but yeah, it's frustrating because shops have been struggling. Shops really struggled when Indonesia was closed, and then immediately after that, Queensland closed. If Queensland had have closed at the same time of Indonesia, we'd have no corals. Simple as that. Apart from Vietnam, which is bog standard zoas and leather corals. So that just would have been the end to it.
Wow.
It's
tricky.
interesting. Have you seen the work that's going on about propagating scollies? So obviously
Yeah.
you can pizza slice them, which doesn't fill me with joy.
Yeah,
You can cut the bottoms off them.
Crazy, isn't it?
you can.
Yeah.
Cutting the bottoms off it. I've talked to Shane Danger about it, and he says it's just the same scolly. So you go as much into the skeleton as you dare. You nick the bottom off the skeleton. The bottom of that same scolly then comes back out, and you get a two-headed single scolly. It's not to say that you can then chop that scolly and have two. It's actually one still.
So apparently you can.
Double header, basically.
Apparently you can, and it takes 6 months for it to grow. So I've got a customer who's growing them, and so contrary to what Shane said, obviously Shane's done it many times because I know he's a mad scientist. But I don't know, the customer I've got, he's got a bleeding apple, and he cut the bottom off the bleeding apple, and he's grown out a master. I'll share the pictures with you, Jeremy.
Can you
It's incredible.
WhatsApp it me, and I'll put it in the chat in a minute. Have you got it on your phone? Oh, it's me. I've done it.
I can.
WhatsApp it me. I'll put it in the chat in a minute. I'll put it on the screen.
Right, okay. All right, I'll do that. But that's just quite incredible. And he's done it with another one the other day. So I've got a couple of scollies I've been sat on since the ban, and I'm tempted. I just don't want to kill them. But apparently, after 6 months, you chop them in half, and then they'll grow out another one.
Well, I know I know guys who did the old-fashioned pizza method, cut it into 4, and they've propagated them. But it's not about that anymore. With scollies, you can spawn them. So Jamie Craggs has spawned them.
Yeah.
And I think Monsoon and Interfish in Australia have spawned them. So
Was it once again they get a certain age, 3 years old, for that to happen with the scollies as it is with acros?
I'm not sure, but when they're collected, a scolly could be of indeterminate age anyway. I presume they're quite old when they're collected. If you get like a 3-inch diameter scolly, I'm guessing it's quite old.
Right.
I.e. over 3.
So we're not talking 40 odd years old then, like a lot of this single polyp stuff, which is
I don't know. I believe that some acanthophilias could be pretty old. You know, when they talk about collecting them, they talk about exhuming them, and this great big piece of stone comes out of the bottom of the ocean with the acantho. You know, it's years or decades of growth. So that's what you got to find out, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't thrill me with joy pizza cutting something, but I've seen Monsoon are having a lot of success with what they're doing. But again, with the spawning, how long does that take to actually get a viable, good sized scolly that you can sell? Or are we going to see a lot of baby scollies in the market soon?
That's what they're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about baby acanthos, baby scollies, which I'm not really used to, So I don't want an acantho that's an inch across. I like them to have the big frilly skirts and 6-8 inch diameter. So, but no, the people I was talking to were definitely talking about these single polyp, maybe even cynarinas in the future, just being tiny and selling them at nano size, which it is what it is. I mean, it'll take years to get them big.
Yeah, is it true? So I was speaking to a gentleman from Derby University today. He gave me a call this morning. And
Mike Sweet.
It wasn't Mike. No, it was a guy called Lee who worked with Mike. They rang because he said that, they'd like to do some work together and like to understand how to keep coral diseases out of their tanks, which I thought was interesting. He said, "Oh, I don't suppose you know where you can get some cynarinas and acanthophilias." I said, "Well, what would a ban? So unless you find them from a tank breakdown, you're not going to get them." He said, "Oh, we might look at importing them then." And he said, "Oh, because it's scientific, they'll be able to import them, potentially be able to import them, even if they are banned on site." So
you said similar about Jamie Craggs on Saturday, Jeremy, didn't you? If he wants to move a coral to America,
I think zoo licenses are different. That's what he said. So I think a zoo license is different, and I think a scientific license might be different again. But Jamie pretty much gets what he wants because of who he is and the amazing work he does. So
right,
yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? He's bred 53 species of corals. You can throw a coral at him and he can spawn it. It's amazing.
What a bloke as well, by the way.
Yeah, such a nice guy. But back to the question, that there are permits for acanthos and cynarina. If you go on CITES Species Plus, there are permits for them. So somewhere in the world, a certain number are allowed, but it depends. It depends where from and where to. That's what it's all about. And if the quota reach, so say it's tiny, say the quota's 200 acanthophilia from one place to supply the whole of the world for 1 year. Once they're gone, they're gone. But generally, we kind of stay away from them, which is a shame because they're beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I wouldn't fancy buying a baby and waiting until I retire to see it grow out.
Right, I've managed to, I think. Oh, where's he disappeared?
What have you done now?
Managed to get rid of Jeremy. Gone.
Needs to go back to that meter.
He's
What have you done?
Needs to put another quid in it.
Oh, I can hear him. Did I hear him?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there.
Where are you?
It says my camera was unplugged. Oh, God. Hang on.
Stop playing hard
It's
to
quite
get.
amusing listening to him in the darkness. Can I try that?
Here you go.
Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? It's amazing. I'm back.
I'm back. Here we go.
Yes,
What we're looking at here then?
So that's that bleeding apple.
Yeah.
Have we got Jeremy? Jeremy, well, I kind of think he's blind because we can't see him, but that's not the case.
I'm going to go old school. I'm going to unplug everything and just use my laptop. 2 seconds.
Oh dear.
Right, so that's so you can follow him on Instagram, Lightning Reef. This is a customer stroke friend of mine called Ross, and he's the one who's been talking to me about cutting the bottoms off scollies.
Right.
Now, I believe he got his information, it might have been actually from Shane from Sustainable Reef. So maybe that's developed somewhat from when you last spoke to him, Jeremy. But yeah, so you can see striations of blue in that and gold and all sorts. Obviously, it's early days, but it looks like quite a different animal from the one above.
So, Christian, you see that master that's growing out the backside of that?
Yeah.
Could you ever then completely detach that master and have it on its own, or will it just not survive?
That's my better half texting me. I can't mute that. Yeah, you can cut it off and just remount it. So I think if you cut it off, they will then grow another one. But I would guess that if you want to just cut it off, maybe put a load of iodine on it and then glue it to something and sealing it up, that would stop it going any further, right? But that's cool. He reckons 6 months from cut to mature head. We'll see. It's interesting though, isn't it?
It is. Of course it is. Definitely. I'll save that for when Jeremy finally joins us back in the room. But now it's good that.
He's basically got the shitting machine.
Right. Who else has joined us here? Let's have a look. We've got a few more people. It's because he's been swearing. You're not meant to swear, remember? Right,
we're doing pretty well.
Let me just jump into the comments for a minute, please. Scotty boy, Tom, good. Cheers, pal. Mad busy helping at Reef. Lots. It's an awesome shop. Got a clownfish factory on the go. It's keeping me occupied. I'll be back out there in no time, I'm sure. Yes, I hope it does well, that shop, mate. We need some more love in the north. We need some.
Where is that shop?
Well, it's north of Manchester. It's
right.
Oh God. Someone's going to scream at the TV. We already talked about it.
Manchester area, Manchester, yeah.
Yeah. Lancashire.
Right.
Who else we got?
So are these guys opening up tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow. They're having a big shop, big sort of do tomorrow. Lots of discounts and burger van, sausage van. Yeah.
Rochdale, Rama just said.
Rochdale. Thank you, Rama. Rob, I've got to give a thanks to Rob. I'm not trying to brown nose here, but this nano behind me is all courtesy of Robert. Free of charge, bless him, out of his shed. So I don't know what we're going to put in it yet. He has suggested some orange spot filefish, which I'm tempted to do. With some torches. And some torches. And thanks to Leroy. For some, no. Just literally a couple of fish. That's it. Leroy sorted me out some reef brights for it. And yeah, so that's going to be a work in progress. Fingers crossed the chest of drawers behind me is going to hold the weight of the tank, because that would be entertaining on a live stream if it didn't.
That would be, yeah.
For you, I'm sure. But no, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it, mate. Tiny House Records, what's up? That's got to be Reef King.
That's
with
basically
that avatar.
Carlos, isn't it?
Got to be Carl. So happy Friday, mate. If it is you, if it isn't you, happy Friday, Tiny House Records. But I'm sure it is. For Christian, just went to send the info over to him about the purple and pink acro, and the contact page of the website isn't working. Just FYI.
Oh,
Great.
Don't tell him that.
Great.
Oh dear.
Just drop me a WhatsApp. Sorry, yeah, Instagram.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been stifled by their website. I don't know what happened. Too many people turned up on it or what, but the whole back end just shut down.
If it's still working.
Oh, hello, Jeremy.
Oh, hi, everyone. How are you?
It's moved.
What's going on? We're not still
Thanks for
live, are
joining
we?
us. Yeah, we're still live, mate. We're still live.
Yeah.
Good lighting.
So, yeah, just, wow. What can I say? Technology. Absolutely terrible.
Website's still good, mate.
Jason Miller, thanks for joining us. Happy Friday to you, mate. Hope you're good. A few more comments. Oh, the guy that I forgot that I never heard of, that I never knew
your
about.
mate,
I didn't
Leicester.
know that's my mate
Your mate from Leicester.
from Bristol, Mo. Hope you're well, Mo. Looking forward to talking to you about your setup. We're going to get you on the channel soon.
I'm surprised he's back, to be fair.
It's come back, yes. How's the modern reef, Tom? Not started it yet. I've been too busy trying to fix the skimmer problems that I've been having, as you well know. He's from talking to you. No.
Are you on that, Christian? Are you on Modern Reef?
I am, yes. Yeah,
Any good?
I use it. It works. Yeah, it's very expensive, but it works.
I watched the video of Mara's Reef, and even Niles was stood there saying, "Yeah, she's on Modern Reef." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
What's the secret to it? What's the what is it? Aminos or what? What's the? I know that Polypop. I've tried it.
Yeah, so it's a proportional consumption system, right? So everything in the bottles is there in the ratios of what your corals will want them. So carbs, lipid, and traces and aminos, what have you. So everything that your corals need is in the bottles. If they can't put it in the 4 bottles, it's in those 2 bottles, which are the Polypop and the coral feed. And everything's worked out based on calcium consumption. It's a good system. It works. It's put a lot of thought into it. Yeah, it's decent. It makes I'd say it makes it easy for people to succeed, right? Because a lot of these systems, it's hard to find your way on. But it works. It's good. But most things on the market these days are pretty good, you know. So Triton's good, you know, Elements, you name it. They've all got their pros, right? I think the benefit of this one is that it's all just in the 4 bottles. So although it's an expensive, on the face of it, it looks like an expensive product. By the end of the year, if you tally up what else you spent on the other products, like buying their ancillary pieces, you're probably there or thereabouts. Just easy use, I guess. And it works.
But expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I go for a lot of it. I'd like to get a kickback on it, really, but I don't. So I could do with one. So I might have to kind of come away from it begrudgingly. Because,
so what? What's the alternative for you then?
I think I'm probably just going to DIY.
Right.
I'll just try it myself. Yeah.
Upstream Details asking,
Yeah,
evening Upstream Detail, you well, mate. What's your thoughts on Fornham Marine Bowling Light?
I'm on that.
You are, aren't you? Yeah, you are.
That's right. It's one of the originals. You know, it was balling method plus trace. So yeah, it's proven a million times over 30 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good product. And of course, if you're on Fauna Marine, you can try Doug's Bolus, can't you? So,
so
I keep trying to.
So I spoke with Claude at length on Saturday because he was there. All I see initially was the back of his jacket, and I spoke to him at length. And why is that funny?
Because I was laughing because I'd got this hat on.
I think I was standing with you.
I got this hat on that Joe, bless her, had got me from when she went to Florida on holiday, and the WC T-shirt because I was just being sad as I am for the event. And I was talking to Claude because obviously I knew who Claude was, and he saw the logo and he started talking to me, and then he went, "Do you know so and so in New York? And do you know so and so in Chicago?" I was like, "Why is he asking me about people in America?" I was like, "No, I ain't got a clue what you're on about." And he was like, "All right." And somebody went and got him. One of the Abyss guys went and got him and took him away. And I'm thinking, why is he asking me about New York? And I'm thinking, He thought I worked too.
No, I told him that.
He thought you were American, Tom.
No, I told him you work. I told him you work at World Wide Coral.
Where is he?
Why would you do?
Because he's German, and I just thought it'd be funny. Yeah, I told him that. Sorry, I forgot about that. How funny.
Oh dear.
But anyway, he was saying to me, I asked him, your farms in Germany, what are they running? Because you've got all of these, and he's switched all of them over to the bolus.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're doing it now, are you, Drippy?
No, because I've still got loads. If I was running out of the balling light, I would give that a go. Yeah, I would. But
So what's the difference? I thought it was the same product. Am I wrong there?
I think it's more the mate. I run that. I run a normal light spectrum. You know, the AB plus, like you said. That's what the main difference I can see is the alkalinity being dumped in all at once, a very slight ramp up period, and then full beams.
Yeah, it's like turning an Allied on or a T5 on, literally just on. Like
It's
Yeah.
tricking the pH. That's the idea.
Yeah,
so
Exactly what Claude was saying.
I spoke to Doug about this years ago, and I said, you can trick the pH. And he said, hey. And I said, look, just go to your maximum outlight output at the beginning of the day, and you'll achieve your peak pH sooner rather than later in the day. And then you can back off, and then you'll see the benefits of utilizing that higher pH for the rest of the day. He's obviously took that and played around with it and developed this bolus.
I hope you've got royalties,
incorporated
mate.
it into that. Sorry?
I hope you've got royalties.
No.
And they're
course
a
not.
bit better, or a pattern that's slightly better than Ecotex MP40s or the MP10s. Do you know one thing I did say to Claude that worried me initially, and it was only because I, don't know enough as much as them, but I said with that intense light straight away about the algae, I was like, would it, in terms of how it affects? And he did go on a tangent in sort of broken English about why the algae is kept at bay, etc., etc. But yeah, my attention span's not the greatest. So, nice quote.
Is there a Sunday morning stream and any news if Paul is doing a Love to Reef next year? There's no Sunday planned this week, John, but there are talks in the background with some of the other guys that want to do Sundays that can't do Fridays. So watch this space. I can't commit to it just yet because it's not fair for me to comment, but Josh wants to do Sundays. It works for him. Rob, Ron, and I think a few other people are going to get involved. So again, can't commit to that yet, but possibly.
Tom,
yes.
Just have a look. Just have a look in the comments at Reef Exotico by Luis Aceves. He's just started the bolus method last month. Yeah. Hard to keep my DKH up. I'm at 55 mil in a 50-gallon tank.
That seems a lot.
Thanks for joining us, Reef Exotico, as well. Happy Friday to you, wherever you are.
What are you keeping, Reef Exotico? That seems a lot.
Is there...
Oh. It's contagious, this, Jeremy. It's contagious. What have you started? I need to screenshot that. That's beautiful. I can get him back here for so many times. Yeah. Sorry. We had to wind each other up, Jeremy, me and Ryland. Never a dull moment when they're around. No, there isn't. We just go back to John's comments. We're asking about the Sundays. Yeah, we'll see what happens, John. To be fair, it's not everybody can do every day or a Friday and a Sunday, but we will try.
There is a Love to Reef apparently. I think it's as early as May.
That's what I was just about. That was what I was looking for.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Love to Reef. So it is happening. Yeah. Good. 2025. Thank you, Christian. Yes, I did send you pics. Millie's not dying, and I think growing slowly, but polyps still tulip shaped. That's Delius. Back on that one.
Yeah, I think Drop me a text, mate. We'll figure that out.
Okay,
no problem.
Someone was asking if anybody else was using the bolus method. I know Reef Exotico said he was. You're thinking of using it on one of your new tanks, aren't you? On one of your new systems when you get them up and running?
Yeah, I don't see why not. May as well try it. So the benefits of calc without using calc, without the downsides of calc,
Yeah,
sounds quite interesting. So all these points of nucleization across the tank and precipitate where algae and bits or different traces get bound up. Sounds interesting. Yeah, so can't knock it till you've tried it, can you? So I'll give it a go. Why not?
You got to try it, haven't you? Always learning, always learning.
Reef Exotico is saying he's got a SPS Dom tank. That's what he's got. That's what he's running it on with that dosage.
I mean, 55 mil sounds so much. It sounds like it's just precipitating out, surely, and that's not going in at the same time. You are just dosing the alkalinity proponent on its own, aren't you? You're not dosing them all together.
If that was a 3-part though, like boiling method, you could be using 55 mil of each in a day, no problem.
Well, I'm on 30 alkalinity.
On a 50 gallon?
No, mine's. Well, you've done me. Jeremy's probably better at this, or you. What's? I reckon I've probably got 450 litres.
So you're probably about 100 gallon.
I used to run 100 mil of each of the aquaforest parts on the 500 litres.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
You'll use the North Sea on your tank if he runs at Reef's Elements.
God, don't sour the stream. I'm only on, not on the same amount, obviously, boiling light. I'm only on 20 mil of magnesium and calcium. But that 30 mil keeps my alkalinity at about 7, 7, 8.
So you're not bad. It's not okay. So, yeah.
Both is the same raw materials as boiling light. We agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about boiling light.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same product, Ryland. So if you were to just switch your outdose and do it half an hour before your lights come on, and just do the other 2 parts as you are, then you're on bonus. So I don't think you need another chemical. I mean, it might be worth catching up with Doug, but I think that's the benefit of it.
You don't have to run the 20% lights up. It's not necessary.
I do suffer with really my pH. My pH is terrible.
What's your low point pH,
mate? In the tell you exactly. Mind you, this is at the moment it's at 7.75. Now this is whether you believe these. I mean, it is a new pH for the Apex. 7.75.
The Apex pH isn't very good. I've got it on my clients' tanks, and unfortunately, I just tend to use it for trends as opposed to actual numbers. The same with all the probes. It's the pH always reads a lot lower than it actually is on his, and he recalibrates and everything all the time. So,
yeah. So what would you use, Jeremy, on that point then to actually know what it actually is? So you're saying it's not normally accurate. What would you?
All pH meters. I had 3 at one point. They all read differently. You can even use a Senai to do it because it's a different type of pH reading, so it kind of hedges your bets. But they're all terrifying, and you don't know which one to believe. It's like having 4 hydrometers. Which one do you believe? You know, it just goes on and on. You could have 10.
Which one do you go off?
And what's your opinion? Since we're talking about pH, because I love that topic.
Oh, really?
What's your thoughts on ICPs that measure pH? Is that actually feasible? Is that possible?
It's not an ICP that measures it. So
right, okay.
Most of these companies, like say Fauna Marin, Oshimo, Zelements, they have multiple machines. So when they talk about KH as well, it's not an ICP doing KH. There's various machines. So if you take the latest Zelements ICP, he's got ICP MS, which is mass spec. He's got ICP OES, and then he's got 3 or 4 other machines that do KH, pH, blah, 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 you know, phosphate or whatever it is. So yeah, that's how they do it.
I don't think it's possible to test pH from a vial of water that's been in the post for 2 days. I think it'd be based on an approximation based on your alkalinity, your buffer reading. And it's like...
Yeah, it's probably an equation.
Like that.
you're probably right, and it'll be affected by gases as well. So you'd have to cap that thing shut completely, but the pH will just move. It'll
surely
radically. So yeah, you'd need a live testing, but pH is. I was obsessed with pH about 2 years ago, and it ruined my reef keeping life. Really, it made me
really why?
Because I was testing it with hydroxides, and because I work from home, I was testing it like half hourly every single day, and sat there and ICP testing like every 2 days and adding 0.1 mil of chromium and then sending off another ICP. It was hideous.
Been there, done that, and I got the T-shirt.
No way to live. You can't live like that.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've gone back towards manual testing.
Yeah, and so this time I've gone full circle. I've got a little Red Sea Max. Well, not a little one, a Red Sea Max XL. I will not ICP test it. I've gone super old school. I do KH.
Using these, you mean the eyes?
Yeah, observation is key. I look at my corals. I've got a mixed reef. 75% of my corals are happy. I'm happy. I'll check my KH once a week, but it's pretty much bang on. Not really worried about pH anymore. Definitely not worried about nitrate. I monitor pH, phosphate. Salinity is a big deal for me. Everything works back to salinity. If you start with the wrong salinity, if your salinity is too low, you'll have low potassium, low strontium, 0 to no trace. And if it's too high, higher is better than lower. But if you speak to Paul Hughes, salinity can be a killer, even if it's high. So
Christian made a wonderful point, and I haven't forgot it. And I think it was once again that stream after your barbecue about if you don't know and you send off an ICP test with low salinity, that rather than just say on an ICP, this is what it's come back at, but rather than buy 392 bottles of individual elements, just raise your salinity a little bit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I do. I remember you saying that, and I was like, do you know what? It's so simple what you said, but just listen. I am guilty of that in the past. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
so I'll go kind of 35.5 PPT or 36. I used to try the 33 PPT back in the days of Zeovit and the KZ method, and if we'd have ICP'd then, it had nothing in it. I used to pour loads of potassium in. And it's because your salinity is lower. You're not hitting any of the numbers, which is detrimental.
It's a little bit, obviously. They also listen. It's a business, so
We've talked more about ICPs in our little Jolly Boys chat than anything else, haven't we? Let's be honest. Other than me looking like an onion and Christian looking like an egg.
You do look like an onion, to be honest.
It's I'm sure you guys talked about ICP OES versus MS.
Isn't there another one? Isn't there a newer one, more in-depth one that's come out that I read somewhere?
I think that's CMS, and then there's a combination of both.
Yeah. But I said it to Jose the other week when I was talking to him, and he actually agreed. It measures to parts per trillion, right? How are you meant to chase a number to a part per trillion? We're talking decimal points, right? So you don't need parts per trillion to measure iodine because it's 60 parts per million or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So you move the decimal point, that makes it 6,000 parts per billion. It makes it 600,000 parts per trillion. It's irrelevant. And say you're measuring 1 part per trillion or something. How do you dose for that? You can't. I'm already on 0.1 mil of chromium on a standard Zelemans ICP OES. So I don't want to be told I need to dose 0.0000001. You can't do it.
I think the biggest issue with me, the biggest frustration for me is that the information they give you is only as good as the day that they tested your water. What's happened since the day they tested your water? Yeah. It's depleted. Everything's depleted even more, in theory.
Yeah, and then you get
as a pollutant probably gone higher.
Yeah, I mean, most people can't seem to maintain manganese even if they dose it daily. You can you'll put manganese in as directed, send your ICP off. You still haven't got manganese the next day.
Yeah. Oh, I love your passion, Jeremy. I love your frustration. I feel it. I've been there.
A little better than none.
Just one thing you did miss, Jeremy, was Christian talking about the scollies. Just for your benefit,
Yeah, go on.
So
Yeah.
we're going to rewind a little bit here. So this is the guy that Christian knows. Sorry, Christian, I'm going to throw it back on your lap here to explain.
That's fine. Yeah, so that's a bleeding apple above, and he cut the bottom off it, and that's grown out of it. So
Is he going to cut it though?
yeah. So once it's big enough, he'll cut it. So he reckons he's been told 6 months. So I think he actually got his information from Shane as well. So I don't know if Shane's changed his perspective since you spoke to him on it.
Yeah, I think it's UCA that farm them that way as well. It definitely put it on its side. That's the way I've seen them grow them. But yeah, someone as recently as this weekend, when I was sat with those experts, just went, "It's the same Scully. You're just taking skeleton off." And I guess they've tried it as well. So yeah, jury's out on it. I mean, I'll happily be proven wrong. If he can make 2 Scullies out of that, and then 4, and then 8, that's good for all of us. You know, that's great.
Yeah,
so I'll take
even
that.
better for all different colours. But like you can see so now I look at it again, you can see those colours in the bottom, in the rim or the underside of the mother.
Yeah,
can't you? You can see like that yellow
and a coloured rim. I'm guessing is probably going to cost quite a few nice pounds.
Yeah, imagine if you
you had to go
cut
there,
that one from Top Shelf.
You had to go
Oh
there.
God.
Right. Anyway,
yeah.
Reef Exotico is saying, cheers from Denver, Jeremy. I'm 8 minutes from the RB studio. Glad Salem is there now.
Oh, cool. Has he been? Has he been to the studio? I was meant to go there in March 2 years ago, but didn't happen. But yeah, it's been in a state of flux for 2 years. Lots of different people coming and going. But it needs the passion and the love, and it needs someone to take charge of it.
Is it open to the public?
No. So Salem's going to have a go at it. He's got his own take on things. He's into the science, so he's going to put lots of machinery in there and prove and disprove stuff, which is cool. You know, go for it. Go for it.
Nice.
Okay. Andy, shout out. Thanks to shout out, gents. Means a lot. Great channel, great info. Yeah, good luck, Andy, tomorrow. Hope it goes well. Hope you have a good day. Busy shop.
Yeah, I'm going to go and see it at some point.
You
got to. I think we'll have a job trip up there.
Following the bolus method using bowling light fauna, that's what I'm doing. Started 25 mil DKH, dropped to 6.5 after the first week. So this is a guy with a 50-gallon tank from memory. Yeah. Just have to wait for the tank to settle, perhaps.
I don't know. Maybe corals are just in super growth now. That's it.
It's me, so that's Carlos. Happy Friday to you, Carl. What else have we got in the chat?
I think Carl's got every song ever released on a backup on a drive somewhere. Like you're talking about like old school rave stuff and things like that. He's got everything.
He's definitely an old school raver.
Alan's saying he agrees with Jeremy. I don't need to go MS.
Well, nor does Element. So basically, to wrap up that conversation, Jose said, yes, I've got one because people expect me to have one and they think that OES is inferior. He said, but he won't even be using it on certain elements because there's no point, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
For some macros or minors or whatever, that's the one. For other stuff, OES is better. And then he's got other machines to do other things on top of that. So best of all worlds.
That's cool.
What tank have you got, Jeremy?
At the moment, I've got a Red Sea Max G2 XL. Yeah.
Well, how many litres is that?
But I live my life through my clients' tanks.
You've just took my words out of my mouth, Christian, because that was like a proper, like, you know,
It's like,
wow.
Like a barcode, wasn't it?
That was like a barcode, literally.
It's like, you know, when on the backs of cars, like it's a Mondeo, like LXSI, you know, blah, blah, and the actual stats like longer
so
than
have you got a GSI? Is yours a GSI then? Is that what you're saying? Is it 16 valve? Yeah,
it's GSI 16 valve.
Has it got a cherry bomb on the bottom of it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, titanium. It's GSL titanium.
The 200 litre Red Sea tank that they brought out recently looks insane. I think that looks lovely.
Yeah, it's not a nano though, is it?
No,
they called it the Nano XXL.
But how big? If you got your custom tank, how big are you looking to go?
Me, ideally, I'd go 6 foot.
Lovely.
But
That's
I've got
size, isn't it?
I was just about to say there's a lot of corals I can't afford and a lot of things I can't have in my house. So I
You
live
mean,
my
you
life
mean you pay for corals? Jeremy Gay,
Yeah,
pay for
all
corals?
the time. Yeah, all the time. And I live my life through my client's tank
I
because
like how you're pointing to Christian right now.
so he just spends what he wants, and I just go to his house. And so I'll go to his house. He's got two 1,500-litre tanks, and he
Wow.
buys what I tell him to buy and puts in what I tell him to buy. So they're like my tanks, which is
Is
great.
this what? Is this Mr. W? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
you
it's
get
great.
frags
So
up there later.
another tank. So now we've got one 1,500-litre tank just with acros and large angels, and one 1,500-litre tank just with small fish and LPS. So it's great.
How does,
Great.
how does he get on with his acros and large angels? Because I've got a lot of angels in my tank.
Well, it was a learning curve. I mean, we thought they'd be okay with non-fleshy LPS like chalices, but they ate
Was it your money? Was it your money though? Was it?
They ate a right rampage like it was a pizza delivery.
Oh,
it
mate.
was like a pepperoni pizza. We
Oh,
put it in, and they
yeah.
just went nom 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 nom, and it was
They've
gone.
done loads of damage in my tanks, mate. They've done loads of damage.
Yeah. So we put in a rainbow carpet nem that cost £1,000, and everyone went, "Don't do that; it'll eat the angels." And the angels ate the nem. Just
Yeah.
24
Really?
hours that was gone. Soft corals they've eaten.
Yeah.
Most acros are okay. Most montes are okay.
Cataphilia?
Yeah, no way. They'd eat it. They'd nail it.
Yeah. Hammers,
Really?
foxbombs. Hammers they loved. Hammers they absolutely loved.
Haven't tried them, but yeah, we're just down to acros. But it's nice now. It's 2 years old, and the acros have based out, and they're starting to get colour. So
Does he get much polyp extension?
millies you do, but they're like really furry anyway. In the
Even
flow.
with the angels there, he still gets polyp extension on the millies.
So there's this guy in the States who said something that I kind of relate to. He said, the more corals you put in, the less one gets picked on. Do you know what I mean? So he just keeps. You know, it was really difficult when we had 10 angels and 10 acros.
Yeah.
And now it's just there's so much, and we feed the fish so much, they're less bothered.
So,
but the
another
queen
question.
would be the worst.
Another question: when this guy got the acros, were they mini colonies so that the middle could always flourish and maybe or were they frags?
A bit of everything. A bit of everything.
But that's a bit. But how big's a frag and how big's a colony? You know, everybody's got a different.
Yeah, but
opinion on it.
what my point being with the angelfish being the way they are with corals, if you've got a mini colony or a colony, the middle of that coral is not affected because the angelfish can't get in there with the other branches protecting it. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be that they went for the edges more. I mean, it was down to certain species. We were going to take the queen out at one point. Like he's got everything. He's got, you know, French queen, blue face, blue line, scribbled, conspic, personifer. He's got all the angels basically. Everything apart from a majestic and a regal because he had them in the other tank.
Majestic is my worst one for eating coral.
Really? I'd have thought it would have been one of the safest.
No, he's the one that everything goes by him, mate. He's the big boss in that tank, mate. And he's literally the regal was fine until it saw the majestic having a go on a Duncan, and then the regal had a go on a dunk, and it's just
They definitely follow each other. So the queen would start, and then they'd all go, "Oh, it's a food block," and just
Even my tank bred Potter's angel that is tiny, I caught that nipping a coral as well yesterday. And I was
Potters are terrible. I used to work with a wild potters in a 6-foot reef tank, and it just devoured loads of corals.
Really? I had a Potter's model citizen, my favorite angel I've ever had. I had him for 5-6 years.
Did you have with zoas though?
Nothing. It was just perfect, and he was wild. And
what was in that tank? What coral?
Sorry?
What coral was in that tank with the
Potters? Yeah, everything. That was a display tank. Literally had every different type of coral in there. You know,
like
model citizen, like I say. I think it's always down to the individual fish.
Of course it is. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the myth of tank bred being more reef safe, I don't agree with that one bit from what I've got.
No, oh no.
Tank bred regal, tank bred majestic, tank bred potters. No, I don't believe that one bit.
No, that's fair enough. That's real time observation. That's what we need, isn't it? You know, you don't know until you try it.
What else we've got next? We're getting ready to wrap up now because we're on 10:05. Thanks ever so much.
Gone quick, hasn't it?
It has gone very quick.
Do you, after you've wrapped up comments, do you want to discuss what's happening next week, or Do we know what's happening
Yeah,
next
we
week?
can
And,
discuss. Davies putting in there to you, Jeremy. But isn't the machine only as good as the person using it? I think we're on about ICPs here, aren't we?
There's loads of arguments about it. To be fair, Isan from Triton did some really honest, open interviews about it, and it's really interesting. It's way beyond me. There's a lot of science involved, and the testing and the variants, and I think he did it for reef builders. It's worth having a watch of it because he's in his lab, and he did bring this to aquariums 16 years ago, and he said it's all about the kind of the variants in the test, I think. But yeah, watch that.
would you mind sharing that to our Reefers Network Instagram page?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's really interesting.
That'd be cool.
Because human intervention or human involvement, should I say, in terms of a process like an ICP, if your job in wherever it is to do that all day long, and you've done tens of thousands of them, you can't honestly tell me that your 5,000th ICP, you're going to be paying as much attention as the first 3 or 4 you did.
Yeah, but it can work the other way. You could argue you're really, really experienced at interpreting the data by then. So I used to work with Aquaforest.
Yeah, true. Fair.
I used to work with Aquaforest, and they said, first of all, you need a scientist, not just a layperson. Secondly, they need to have used ICP. And then thirdly, they need to be able to interpret that data, because apparently it's almost curves, and you kind of go,
right.
It's that one. Don't quote me on that, but it's not easy. And there's loads of variants in the machines and the calibration and things like that, and how many times you've tested before you change it. I don't know, but it's not simple.
Science,
yes. Sorry, Christian, what do you want to say about next week?
Yeah, so we're going to switch it up next week, aren't we?
We are going to switch it up next week. That's the whole point of the platform.
So I don't think any of us will be here next week, or maybe one or two of us. I don't know.
Well, Ron is chairing next week. I've said I will support him, so that he's not with complete strangers. We've got Sapphire coming on from the Yorkshire Reefs, possibly Mike from Finest. I've just got to confirm with Mike, Fishman Mike, if you remember him, Drippy. That's the guy that you said that Liam wanted the shark when we went on the Jolly Boys.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I don't. Well, I obviously remember him coming out.
It was you that pressured Liam into getting a bamboo shark. Yeah.
Don't talk to me about sharks.
Okay.
Go on. We've got to now.
They're a terrible idea. They shouldn't be in captivity, end of. They sure as hell shouldn't be in people's home aquariums, even a bamboo cat shark. Forget it. Leave elasmobranchs alone.
Okay, let's try and finish it with a bit of a positive spin. It's been entertaining.
Say no to sharks.
Say no.
Who's hosting Banana Armour? I like that one. Avatar, mate. It's brilliant. Ronald McDonald's doing it, or Cammy, should I say? Great screen. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Would it be on this channel? It's always on the Reefers Network channel.
It will be on the Reefers Network. It's not staying anywhere. It's the Reefers Network isn't owned by anybody.
Do you want to let them know that if anyone's got any questions for Ron?
Yeah, so like we said earlier, if anybody's got any questions that you want to talk about, or any subject, or you've got a brilliant coral, or you've got a problem with a coral or a fish, or an issue, or you've had I don't know, anything you want to share that's within reason, please.
Yeah. We can share it ahead of time, and we can discuss it in our network check. And I think in the future, what we'll do is we'll get these subjects and decide who's coming on that week to talk about them, right?
Correct.
Whether it be Ryland's chocolate starfish or Jeremy's say no to shark campaign. We'll get the relevant expert on at the time and
just let me know.
Really dissect it. I think these next few weeks are going to be introductions to the team, if you like.
Yes, to the network. Yeah, definitely. So send the email in if you can. Anything you want to talk about, any pictures, any screenshots, or anything you want to discuss. Like we said before, alternatively, you can send a DM to the Instagram post. But
God, that's so professional. That's so polished. Look at that. I feel like I'm on the BBC, mate.
I do apologise.
That's amazing.
But all that leaves us to do is say, please give us a like. enjoy the rest of your weekend, or should I say your weekend that's coming as of tomorrow. And we may see you on Sunday, but I don't think it'll be this Sunday, it'll be next Sunday. Some of us will let you know, like I say, we'll put something out on Instagram,
Is
etc.
Jeremy not going to do a shark special on Sunday? No,
He's going to do a recipe for shark fin soup.
Shark
Tell you
special
what,
Sunday.
if you want to give me 2 hours on sharks, I'll do it, but there won't be anyone left by the end of it.
Oh dear. Okay.
Remember, for quality corals, go to signaturefrags.com.
Oh.
But no, thank you ever so much, people, for tuning in. It's been a great Friday debut. Thanks ever so much for the support. Much appreciated. Enjoy your weekends. Genuinely, I hope you have a good one, and we'll see you all next Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.